What's going on, guys? Northeast Ohio Farmer here. We're gonna get this ball rolling here with let's see, with this Q&A thingy here. We're gonna answer your questions in today's video here, starting with, okay, we're gonna start with, we might as well start with Mike P7810. Okay, and he has left me some really good questions. Okay, just give me a split second here to find them. I have no way of doing a voiceover in this, so I will just do my best here. I actually had one person leave me 2 questions on 2 separate videos. Okay, so we got Mike P7810 in the house right here. Says, what sort of improvements would you like to do to the farm? Can be anything like facilities, equipment, animals, etc. Well, to answer your question, I might as well just take you on a little road trip. We're gonna go on a little road trip here, so we're gonna do things my way, okay? I don't have to do every Q&A just like the last person. I can kind of mix it up. So I guess we're kind of gonna do this like a Q&A kind of tour video, okay? I'm gonna go right down here. I'm gonna show okay, just what I had in mind for Mike P7810 in reply to his question. Has to do with this barn down here, okay? I would like to put me a board all the way along here, maybe from, like, you know, that post there to like that third one down there, just so when you push against here, you get all your manure cleaned up, and then you can dump it in the spreader or make a pile of, because it sets in there, and I don't really like how manure sets in there because it'll eventually rot the post, and then you have to be replacing post, okay? Someone else, Larson Valley Farm, okay? Dave Larson, he sent me a comment in Messenger. He asked, where do I see the farm in 5 to 10 years? Well, I'm just going to be quite honest with you. And then he said, do you plan on taking the farm over? I was like, well, I hope so someday. But then, if I don't get the opportunity to, then I'll just be okay with it, because in all reality, it is whatever the Lord wants, okay? And I'm gonna have to put this goofy thing in 4-wheel drive. So, with that being said, I'm just gonna trust the Lord. That does not mean I sit on my butt and do absolutely nothing. That means I just keep diligently working at the same task that the Lord has blessed me with, which is agriculture, the farm here, and learning and growing and taking care of animals. And that goes kind of with Mike P7010's question too. Any updates as far as animals? I would like to get the one kind of animal that we had was we used to have goats, okay? Back when my sister and I were growing up, we had goats. I miss the goats, okay? We had 2 of them, okay? They were so cool to watch out with the cows. They would literally lead the herd out in the pasture. I'm not lying. The bull even followed the goat. Okay, you would see the goat walking out in the pasture, and the bull would follow, and then the whole herd would follow the bull that's following the goat. Oh man, that was awesome. And then once in a while you'd see them torment the pigs or whatever, and oh man, I do miss the goat. So I kind of answered both your questions, Mike. I don't really think those were questions in two things, but you know what I meant, okay? So next question comes from, let me go ahead and look it up here. JD Driver, I'm going to assume that is John Deere Driver 9565. He asks, would you buy the 6120E again? How happy are you with it overall? Well, I'm going to show you. We're going to go right in the building here. Okay? Because I can. And we're going to do this appropriately. Now, we are in the building here. We have a little bit of a conundrum. We got a bad battery, or a weak battery, but that is okay. So he asks, would you buy the 6120E again? And are you happy with it? What changes would you make? I would, in all honesty, and this is just my honest opinion, I would make changes to the transmission. I feel that I gotta go grab a light, guys. Hang on, you're going with me. I feel that that transmission in that loader tractor, it is a it's a 1224, okay? Which means you have 12 forward gears, or 12 reverse gears, 24 forward gears, okay? Now, I love this splitter, okay? And that is this little guy, these little buttons right here. I love the splitter, low and high, in between when you are in, say, like, you know, A2. You got high and a low in each range, okay? I like that, especially if you're like doing hay work. I can't get that in any range to show you guys. There you go. That's also another thing that I'm gonna address. So it's really nice for like when you're tedding hay and you need to split the gears to match your ground speed, or you're doing loader work, moving bales, you need to bump down a half a gear to ease up to the trailer or a pile. That's a really, really nice feature, but I wish it, you know, I wish it went, so you have low, or a low hole, like the old RDs used to. So you had a low, and then you had low, and then you have medium, you push it a third time, and then you had a high, you push a fourth time, okay? That's the only thing I would change about this. That's the only thing about this. Well, no. One of the things that I would change about this. The other thing that I would change, but I don't know how you could get away from it, is not having to clutch so many times when you want to start, when you want to shift in between gears. You have to shift so many times to go to different ranges, I should say, okay? So, going down the road, you got to push a clutch, grab the second range, let up on the clutch, you got to push the clutch, there's that one, you know, and you're just constantly push the clutch in, go to C range, you go to C1, let the clutch out, and you'll go to C2, you push the clutch in, C3, blah, blah, blah. While you're in that range, you're going to hit your high, and then when you go to shift into 2, you're going to hit your low, and then you're going to let the clutch out. Then when you want to go to another gear, you're going to hit the range to go higher. Then when you want to go to the third, you go to low, and blah, blah, blah. You guys get the gist. Just too much clutching in my opinion, but that is just me. Okay, I'm sure there's somebody out there that, you know, has thought of a better transmission, but this is the economy version tractor. Okay, I'm sure the M's and the R's are much more different. Now, we did not order this tractor this way. The tractor came to us with 300 hours, and it now has, what's that say, 1,000 and some odd hours? No. Yes. 1,260 hours. So, yeah, it's not even broken yet. But that's the only thing I would change. Only two things I would change about this transmission is I would have this splitter to where you could be able to bump it 4 times, okay, instead of just twice. And then I would make this transmission to where you didn't have to clutch nearly as bad in between ranges, because let's just be honest, it gets old after a while. Okay, but it is what it is. I am surprised that the clutch has not fell out of this tractor as many times as you have to push it. But hey, somebody did their job and designed it right. Okay. And before I forget, there was a gentleman who texted me his, he saw the video, he texted me his question that he had for me. It said, how do you know when a tree is ready to be cut down? Well, when it is springtime, summertime out, and you do not see any leaves start to grow on the tree, or any leaves falling off the tree, is when you know that it is time to cut the tree down, okay? That is how you know, like I said, it's time to cut the tree, is when you see that it is not growing anything on the branches, or you start to see the branches dropping in a windstorm, or just because the tree is diseased or something along them lines, okay? And that guy wanted to remain anonymous. I respect that, okay? So, back to, who was it? Oh, John Deere, JD Driver 95, what was it, 66, I think. He asked, would you buy the newer stuff or the older stuff? To be quite honest with you, he said, would you buy the newer stuff like your 6120? And the long and the short of that answer is no. I like the older stuff. You know why? Like this 1994 John Deere 7800, which is 30 years old. You can still work on these tractors, okay? You can still bleed injectors. All you have to do is take a side panel off, take you a wrench, get the thing spinning over if you're running out of fuel, get the motor spinning over, wait until you start to see fuel coming out of an injector, tighten the injector line back up and you move down the line. It is as simple as that to bleed the fuel system. Or you can manually prime it with the hand primer, either or. Now, like this John Deere 8300. Nah, we'll go newer than that. We'll go back to the 6120, 2015. Or even them dump trucks, come to think, or even the dump trucks. Them are newer than 2018. It's not as simple as just bleeding injectors. There's a computer and everything. You gotta go through that to do whatever, where these, well, that's got a computer. That you can still talk to, okay? You can turn the fuel up, do whatever with all via a wrench. That's still old school. That's kind of new old school, but like anything after 2018, we'll say, you might as well forget trying to turn the fuel up with, a screw on the fuel pump. Well, shoot, you can't even do that to that 6120, that being a 2015. You can't even, screw the fuel pump, turn it up or turn it down. It's all done by electric, okay? This tractor, I can't believe it. It is a 1997 John Deere 8300. I'm going to take you up in a cab here. Okay, so we're in this 8300 John Deere. Would you believe it? This little guy right here. You are not, I repeat, you are not moving a throttle cable no more. All you are doing is telling the computer down there on that motor what to do. That's it. There's no more throttle cable. There's no more manual levers for your hydraulics. It's all just, you basically just sit here and you run this thing off your right arm. You don't get no exercise doing, flipping toggle switches to make your hydraulics work. I mean, even your darn 3-point, that thing right there, it's all done from this armrest here. That's your little shifter right there. That's it. Okay, you take the little guy and you take him and you flip him. All you do is you just bump it like that. You just bump it. And that takes you to your next gear. Okay, same with downshifting. For reverse, all you do is you just bump it. Okay, I mean, you get no exercise with your fingers. Okay, it's a totally different animal compared to like that 7800 sitting over there. Just like this John Deere 7800, okay? There's your rod that goes to the fuel pump, okay? Push the handle forward, move, and advances the fuel. Pull it back, calms it down, okay? Wish I had something to set you up on here to better demonstrate that, but I don't. But that is all that does up in a cab. Now, John Deere 7800. This is a different breed tractor. You have your hand throttle. You can feel you're moving that cable, okay? Snakes down through here, down underneath the floor, and makes a V-line right for that fuel pump down there, okay? You got levers, okay? Easy to work on, easy to maintain, easy to adjust, okay? Now, there's no hand throttle or no electronic computer in this tractor. None whatsoever. Especially when it comes to stuff like your hand throttle. That's why I say I like this older stuff, because you can work on it with ease. In reply to that guy's question, I would take this older stuff any day over the newer stuff. And last but not least, had a YouTuber by the name of Turner Cattle. He asked, how do you like your Gator? And what changes would you make about it? The pros and the cons. I love it. It's the best thing ever that I have owned. I've owned, this is my third Gator. I'm very pleased with it. The only thing I would change is I would put a hydrostatic in it. Hydrostatic transmission. But I'm getting by with the belt drive system. Okay. The book says you're supposed to change your engine oil every 500 hours. Well, all you guys know that this is my main mode of transportation, so it's going to get changed once a year. Okay. So, the electric four-wheel drive is the cat's meow in this thing. No more waiting on the old 835Ms for that 15% wheel slip. And then the front end kicks in, which is extremely hard on it. You push the button, boom, you're engaged as long as you're below 8 miles an hour. And the same goes for disengaging it. When it is below 8 miles an hour and you hit, or above 8 miles an hour, you hit the switch to disengage it. You get below 8 miles an hour and it automatically disengages it. Or if you're already below 8 miles an hour and you disengage it, it'll disengage it then. I've had no need for the differential lock thus far. I haven't even seen if it worked. Okay. That's how this thing gets around, which is really, really well. I've owned this. This will be 3 years this August, 2022. And I haven't even needed the differential lock. So it is a really, really stout machine. Really heavy duty built. I like it. I love it. And it gets me from point A to point B. The only thing I would change on these carts is where the engine oil, where you check that. Because I put a toolbox in this thing, and I really don't want to be opening the hood, or the I don't want to be dumping the bed every morning to check my engine oil. They have put it right down there, right there. I feel that it should come up here and snake over here and lay on top of this here, or over top of this air cleaner cover here, and kind of just have have a longer dipstick that snakes its way down to there from here, so that you do not have to raise the bed at all to check your engine oil. Maybe somebody has come up with that idea. I don't know. Leave your comments below if you have done something like that, and maybe I'll come up with my own idea. I don't know. But it don't hurt to ask for opinions, okay? So, with that being said, I think that concludes our Q&A. I'd like to thank you all for participating. I was kind of hoping that I would have got some more engagement, but I'm thankful for what engagement I got. And we had some fun with this. We'll probably do one in the spring, or if it piques anybody else's interest. So, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. It's always good as well to bring your play toys inside to let them warm up periodically.